Think the 50-30-20 rule is how wealthy people manage money? Not true. The top 1% doesn't follow the budgeting advice plastered across every personal finance blog: 50% to needs, 30% to wants, 20% to savings. That system was designed for middle-class stability, not wealth acceleration. Here's the pattern most people miss. Wealthy individuals reverse the priority structure entirely. While you're told to spend first and save what's left, they invest first and spend what remains. While traditional advice caps savings at 20%, the wealthy push 25 to 40% directly into asset acquisition. And here's the part almost nobody talks about. The 50-30-20 rule assumes your income stays flat. It's built for people earning roughly the same amount for 40 years. But the wealthy don't think in flat income. They think in exponential growth. They're not budgeting for survival. They're engineering wealth systems. Once you understand how they actually allocate money, you'll see why most people stay stuck while a small percent accelerates away. The allocation reversal. Traditional advice tells you to protect lifestyle first, cover your needs, enjoy your wants, then, with whatever's left, maybe save a little. The wealthy flip this entirely. They calculate maximum wealth building capacity first, then reverse engineer lifestyle to fit what remains. A person seeking middle-class stability, earning $80,000 after tax following the 50-30-20 rule, allocates $40,000 to needs, $24,000 to wants, $16,000 to savings. A wealth builder earning the same $80,000 allocates $32,000 to needs, 40%, not 50, $16,000 to wants, 20%, not 30, $32,000 to investing, 40%, not 20, twice what someone seeking middle-class stability invests. Same income, double the wealth building capacity. But here's where it gets interesting. That second person doesn't just save more, they deploy it completely differently. The $100,000 inflection point. There's a specific milestone that changes everything. Not $1 million, not $500,000, but $100,000. Let's walk through the math. If you invest $500 monthly at 10% annual returns, your first $100,000 takes 10.5 years. Your second $100,000? Roughly 6 years and 4 months. Your third $100,000 takes a little over 4.5 years. Same monthly contribution, accelerating timeline. That's not luck, that's exponential compounding. Imagine standing on a snowy hill. You scoop up a handful of snow and roll it once, then roll it again. Eventually, that snowball gathers enough mass that it starts pulling in snow without you pushing. The first $100,000 is you pushing uphill. Slow, painful, you're doing all the work. But once you hit $100,000, the snowball works for you. At 10% returns, that $100,000 generates $10,000 annually. $833 monthly in growth you didn't contribute. Now you're contributing $500 monthly, and the market adds $833. You've more than doubled your contribution without changing behavior. That's why the wealthy obsess over $100,000. It's the inflection point where wealth building shifts from linear to exponential, from pushing uphill to feeling gravity on your side. And here's the twist. Traditional 50-30-20 gets you there in 10.5 years. Push savings to 35%. You collapse that timeline to 6 years. The faster you hit that inflection point, the faster your snowball accelerates. The dual system decoded. Top earners use what I call a dual system approach. System 1, expense ceiling, 60 to 75% maximum. They set a hard ceiling on total spending. Whether earning $50,000 or $500,000, they keep total expenses under 60 to 75% of after-tax income. This engineers flexibility. When fixed costs are low relative to income, you can deploy capital when opportunities appear. A rental property below market. An index fund during a correction. The middle class ties up 80 to 90% in fixed obligations. No room to maneuver. Paycheck to paycheck optimization. The wealthy keep flexibility built in. System 2. Asset prioritization, 25 to 40% minimum. They set a minimum threshold for asset acquisition, not savings, assets. They're acquiring rental properties generating monthly cash flow. dividend stocks compounding automatically, index funds tracking market growth. Small businesses they can scale. Every dollar in this category works to generate more dollars. When you consistently allocate 30 to 40% toward asset acquisition, you're building a second income stream. Earn $70,000 after tax. Allocate 35% toward investments, $24,500 annually. By year 5 at 8% returns, you've accumulated $147,000. That portfolio generates $11,760 annually, $980 monthly. You've created a second income source without working a second job. The pattern most miss. Traditional budgeting teaches expense optimization, cut coffee, skip avocado toast, reduce subscriptions. The wealthy don't waste time optimizing small expenses. They optimize income growth and asset accumulation. Cutting $200 monthly saves $2,400 annually, but you can only cut so much before hitting zero. Creating an income stream that generates $2,400 annually has no ceiling. Next year it might be $3,000, then $5,000. Income scales. Expense cuts don't. While everyone's clipping coupons, the wealthy ask, how can I increase income 10% this year? What asset generates passive cash flow? How fast can I hit my next $100,000? This is offense versus defense. And here's what most people will never hear. The wealthy don't stay there by accident. They engineer systems deliberately, track asset allocation monthly, monitor paths to each $100,000 milestone, adjust spending based on wealth-building goals, not wants. This isn't luck. This is deliberate system design. The two frameworks. Framework 1. The 60-30-10 system. 60% maximum to needs, 30% maximum to wants, 10% minimum to investing. Realistic for most people starting out. Framework 2. The 75-10-15 system. 75% maximum to total spending, 10% to emergency cushion until 5 months saved, 15% minimum to investing. Once your emergency fund is built, that 10% redirects to assets, bringing total investment to 25%. Both are starting points designed to improve over time. The wealthy progressively increase asset allocation as income grows. The income growth multiplier. Here's the mechanism that accelerates everything. Start earning $50,000 after tax. Follow a 75-10-15 framework. You're investing $7,500 annually. Year 2, you get a $5,000 after-tax raise, now earning $55,000. Most people inflate lifestyle immediately. Nicer apartment, better car, more vacations. The wealthy keep lifestyle flat and redirect the entire raise to assets. Now investing $12,500 annually, 23% of income. Year 3, another raise to $60,000 after tax. Lifestyle stays flat. Investment jumps to $17,500 or 29% of income. By keeping lifestyle fixed and investing raises aggressively, you hit the first $100,000 in 6 years instead of 10. The second $100,000 in 3 more, and you hit $300,000 by year 12. At that point, your portfolio generates $24,000 annually without contributing a dollar. That's nearly half your original salary, generated entirely by assets. You're not building wealth, you're building a wealth-generating machine. The tactical implementation. Let's make this concrete. First, calculate your after-tax income. Not your gross, but what actually hits your account. That's your real number. Second, set your asset allocation floor. Start with 10% minimum if you're just beginning. Push to 15% if you can. Third, automate the entire transfer process. Set up automatic transfers on payday. Money moves to investment accounts before you spend it. Next, reverse engineer your lifestyle. Build a budget around what's left. If you're earning $5,000 monthly and have committed to 20% for asset allocation, you have $4,000 for needs and wants. Find a cheaper apartment, drive an older car. Cook at home more. You're not sacrificing, you're prioritizing. Finally, redirect every raise. When income increases, your lifestyle stays flat. 100% of raises toward asset allocation. The account structure. Priority 1. A Roth IRA, after-tax contributions, All growth and withdrawals tax-free. Contribute $7,000 annually, $8,000 if over 50. Open with Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab and buy index funds. In 30 years, $7,000 annual contribution becomes $788,000. Zero taxes on withdrawal. Priority 2. The 401k match. If your employer offers a 401k match, this is free money. A 50% match up to 6% of salary is typical. On a $60,000 salary, contributing 6% or $3,600 gets you another $1,800 from your employer. That's a 50% instant return. Priority 3. Taxable brokerage accounts. After maxing retirement accounts, use standard brokerage accounts, no limits, no restrictions. Buy VTI, VOO, VXUS. Build a diversified portfolio tracking global growth. The timeline reframe. Most people think, I'll never have $1 million. Impossible. The wealthy think, at $500 monthly earning 10%, I'll hit $100,000 in 10.5 years. Suddenly, $100,000 stops being a fantasy. It becomes a timeline. At $800 monthly, I hit $100,000 in 7.5 years. If I push to $1,200 monthly, I hit $100,000 in just over 5.5 years. Not a maybe. A deadline. Wealth building stops being abstract and becomes measurable with concrete milestones. The historical pattern. During the 2008 market crash, the S&P 500 dropped 38%. Panic everywhere. Traditional investors sold, locking in losses. Wealthy investors kept buying at massive discounts. By 2013, the market recovered. Those who sold were rebuilding. Those who bought accelerated ahead with 40% discounts. The 2020 COVID crash. The market dropped 34% in 23 days. Traditional investors stopped contributing. Wealthy investors increased contributions aggressively. By August 2020, the market recovered. By 2021, new highs. Those who bought saw 50% gains in 18 months. The long game. 1990 to 2024. Someone investing $500 monthly in the S&P 500 from 1990 experienced the dot-com crash, a 49% drop. The financial crisis, another 56% drop, and the COVID crash, 34% down. Panic selling during crashes? You missed recoveries? Kept investing through every crash? Your portfolio is worth $1.87 million today. That's not luck, that's pattern recognition. That's understanding the mechanism. The identity split. You have two types of people in wealth building. Dreamers imagine being wealthy, buy lottery tickets, hope for windfalls. Builders engineer wealth systematically, set allocation rates, hit contribution goals, track progress to $100,000. Dreamers wait for opportunities, builders create them. Dreamers think wealth building starts when you have money. Builders know wealth building creates the money. The wealthy didn't become wealthy, then start these systems. They started these systems and became wealthy. Which are you? The choice. The 50-30-20 rule isn't evil. It's designed for financial stability, comfortable retirement, middle-class sustainability. But if your goal is wealth building, financial freedom, not just security, you need a different system. The wealthy don't follow traditional advice because it doesn't build wealth. It protects what you have. It's defense, but wealth requires offense. Aggressive asset allocation, income growth, compound leverage, system design. You can follow traditional advice perfectly, max your 401k, save 20%, buy index funds, and still end up middle class. Or follow actual allocation systems the wealthy use, hit inflection points faster, and engineer exponential growth. The strategies aren't secret, they just require delayed gratification, behavioral discipline, and long-term thinking. Most people won't live below their means today to build wealth tomorrow. They want lifestyle now. The wealthy think differently. They sacrifice lifestyle today precisely because they understand that creates freedom tomorrow. That's not a secret they're hiding, that's a choice they're making. The final question. What's your current asset allocation? 5%? 10%? 20%? What would happen if you pushed it 5 points higher? Are you building wealth or just managing expenses? Because the top 1% aren't better at budgeting. They're better at allocating capital toward assets that compound. Start your snowball today. Track your path to $100,000, redirect raises, build the system. 5 years from now, you'll either wish you'd started today or be grateful you did. If this shifted how you think about money, hit subscribe for more practical breakdowns on ways to grow and protect your wealth. I publish fresh content several times per week. Your wealth building machine starts now. Drop a comment with your current allocation rate and target for next year, and keep the momentum going. Watch why the stock market hasn't crashed yet. What they don't want you to know. It's right here on the screen and in the description. Tap it, and I'll meet you there. And if you want to get your financial house in order, I put a link to an Ultimate Financial Fundamentals bundle in this video's description that may help. Check it out. See you on the next one.